Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Father Padge, and you're watching the 3 Count Podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to another great edition of the 3 Count Podcast presents Now Enter the Ring, and I'm your host, Clifford Red Dog Miller, the man that leads you up that mountain called wrestling. That's right. By now, you should be calling me the one thing I've been asking you to do, and that's your Sherpa. But like every good Sherpa, you got to have someone who's been there, done that, and can do it more efficiently than you can. And that's why it's never about me. It's about who's entering the ring. So who's entering the ring today? You can find this person at Empire. You can find this person at BCW, MSWA, SCP, and UWO. He is the man, the myth, the legend, the manager of all greatness, Father Padge.
Hey, what's up, brother?
What's up, man? Like, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm enjoying a nice sunny day, actually.
I mean, even over here, it was pretty like cloudy, like on a Monday, but yesterday it was like 91 degrees, bright sunshine. It was crazy. I was like, okay, April weather's coming around. I see it.
I live in Oklahoma, and it's up and down here all the time. The weather's more bipolar than my ex-wife. Can't make up its mind.
Bet. Well, I'm not gonna front like I'm not from the Midwest myself, man. So like being a Nebraska guy, like. But yo, so question, man, right off the jump that I just want to ask, man, is who is Father Padge?
Father Padge is a martial artist who became a professional wrestler. I grew up in a martial arts family. My dad is the only 7-time heavyweight champion in the history of professional kickboxing. I grew up trying to do that, but my love was always pro wrestling. But I had kind of pardon the pun, a leg up because I had done martial arts my whole life, So when I got into pro wrestling, it helped me out because when I got into it, I was close to 300 pounds, and I could throw like super kicks and spin back kicks and all that stuff. And they just didn't expect that from me. But as far as Father Padge goes, the character, it's just a combination of a bunch of things. It's a martial artist, priest, Viking, I guess.
I like it.
3 odd combinations.
Yeah,
Work.
I would never think of like a priest who's also a Viking who throws martial arts. Like I would never think that's the thing you put together.
I think it's just the Viking look because the Vikings were like the opposite of Christians, or you know what I mean? Like, but I get asked all the time if I like the show Vikings, and then I know it's because of the way I look, So, and then I get like, I don't know, like at McDonald's a while back, they thought I was country music superstar Chris Stapleton when I went in there, and they gave me a free meal, and I was like, no, not him. Like,
sorry, I'm gonna take this meal, but no, I'm not him.
Yeah, that actually happened to me at a wrestling show. A lady saw me wrestle, saw me do my whole match, and they came up to me and asked me if I was Chris Stapleton. I was like, no, you just saw me have this match. Like, no. And then I had to Google him because at that point I didn't know who he was. And then I was like, oh, yeah, I kind of look like that guy. I get it.
I had somebody stop me while I was at a show, and then they're like, hey, do you know who you look like? And I was like, no, who? And they're like, you look like Donnie Wahlberg. And I was like, I don't know if that's a compliment or not.
I guess it depends on what decade. Like, I'd say 90s Wahlberg, probably.
Yeah. I was like, okay. Like, I'm going to go over here and talk about step by step. That's not something I'm going to do, but I appreciate that you're going to talk to me about being from Blue Blood. Yo, man, but so you kind of said it yourself, right? You kind of had like a leg up in getting into like to this, right? But your love's always been pro wrestling. I'm just kind of curious, like, why pro wrestling? What drew you into the sport?
Oh, honestly, that's all my mom. My mom, when I was a kid, used to watch Saturday Night Main Event like every Saturday back in the day. And my dad and Hulk Hogan were built similar, and I was like 4 years old, so I thought Hulk Hogan was my dad, like on TV, you know. And my mom would always joke like, "No, because if that was your dad, we'd live in a bigger house," you know. but but no, it was Hulk Hogan. I think is what got me hooked at first. Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage were like my two favorite guys to watch when I was a kid. Um, I would always joke around like I got in trouble a lot, like in elementary school for dropping the big leg on people out at recess, like you know.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but I never like my dad would tell me it's a phase, it'll go away, and it just my obsession over it just grew and grew, and I knew that when I had the first opportunity that I could, I was going to go get trained, and I did. I went right after high school, like 2 weeks after, like 3 weeks after high school. After I graduated high school, I went off.
I feel like that's the thing about like a lot of parents, like they tell their kids like, "Oh, it's just a phase, and they'll grow out of it," right? And then you have those ones. Some of them do, some of them do, but then you have the
Yeah.
ones where like they don't, and their obsession grows more. And you know, just like you said to yourself, right? Like you just like get engulfed in this world and you just keep like pulling from it. And that's something like for me too, because I know like my dad was like, you know, I started as a collegiate or like an amateur wrestler, went into collegiate wrestling, and he was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh man, you're gonna get over this stuff. Like it's never gonna go away." And to a point, he was right till like a couple years ago when I was like, I'm making a jump, man. I'm gonna go be a pro wrestler. And he was like,
Oh yeah.
"Oh, okay." He's like, "Yeah, you know, it's always been in our family." No, 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 you was trying to push me away. Like, no, that wasn't gonna happen.
Well, I had kind of the same thing. I would always joke around with my dad because my dad's father, was a boxer, and he fought for middleweight championship. I don't think he won the title, but he fought for it. And he was a pretty good boxer, had a pretty good record. And then my dad did the martial arts thing, and I did that. So I would always joke around and be like, "Well, Papa was a boxer. You're a martial artist. There's only one avenue left for me to take." And I said, "I'm gonna be a pro wrestler." And I said that like in the seventh grade, just joking around, And then, well, I mean, it ended up happening. It wasn't easy at all, but like it ended up happening. But
So I'm curious, man. You've been around for like a long time, so I just need to know what's the worst bump you've taken?
the worst bump I've taken? Oh
Yeah.
man. Oh, okay. Well, this guy I was working with, like, he really wanted to impress this girl that he just started dating, and
No.
and he knew that him and I were gonna work that night. So he was like, "I've got her sitting front row. Let's do something fucking nuts." And I was like, "Oh, sorry. Can I talk like that on here? My bad."
Yeah, you're 100% allowed to say
Oh,
that.
okay. All right. Cool. Sorry, I was just being myself. But yeah. So I told him, I said, "Well, what do you want to do, man?" And he was like, "All right, we'll be on the edge of the ring, right? And I want you to give me an RKO off the ring onto the fucking floor." And I'm like, "You're out of your mind, dude. I've never even done that in the ring. I don't want like an RKO, like diamond cutter onto the floor." And he was like, "Yeah, come on, it'll be sweet." And I was like, "All right, whatever, dude. Just make sure just tell me what side she's on, because I didn't know who she was. I'd never even seen her. You know what I mean? But like me and this guy that we're working, we've known each other for years. We're great friends, you know." And but this was our first time working each other like one on one, so he really wanted to go freaking crazy because this new girl that he ended up marrying later. I like to think that this had a lot to do with it, but I doubt it. But we had the match, and that spot comes up, and he was like, "All right, let's go for it." Well, the match before it, I had like apparently kicked the floor padding underneath the fucking ring. So but I'm already set up for the spot. So like, what am I gonna do? Chicken shit out? So I go for the other pad that's there. I try to catch the edge of I miss it completely. And I take the back bump. I take the back bump for the RKO, and knock the holy piss out of myself. And of course, him. He looks like it fucking kills him, but he's just fine. He's fine. It was all me taking the thing, and I was like, I was like rolling over, and I was like, I fucking hope y'all stay together forever, you know. Like, but that one comes to mind. I'd say that one because it was it was a straight up full size 18 by 18 ring. We were 4 feet off the ground. I jumped and did that stupid RKO, and I don't even use that move. I don't use anything like that move. But he was like, it would look sick, and I was like, yeah, it's gonna be sick, bro. Like, yeah, when we did that one, or I jumped off of a stage. No, I jumped off of a ladder through a table, just an elbow from top of a ladder
Mm-hmm.
on this one guy. He really wanted to. I don't know. These guys, when they work with me, they like to bleed sometimes. So like, they're like, "Well, you use all that martial arts stuff, so you should bust me open or whatever." And I was like, "All right, whatever," you know. But to jump off the ladder, I think that one I was only like 8 feet in the air, but it was still pretty scary because like I'm scared of heights if I'm being honest, and like I legit don't even like being this tall. Like it kind of throws me off a little bit, you know what I mean? 'Cause I'm 6 foot. I'm not even that tall. I'm 6 foot 2.5. You know, but still, I was another 8 feet in the air, and I'm just like, oh Jesus. Well, I'm up here, so
You gotta go
I
for
hope
it.
his. I know my insurance is good. I hope his is. You know? But yeah, those two would probably the two worst bumps come to mind. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing any RKO spot after.
Mm.
If I know it's there, I'll be like, you know what? You just
Uh,
take this choke slam. It looks cool too.
yeah, dude. Like if he didn't like that, that was back in my 20s. If he'd asked me that, like age 30 and above, I'd have been like, go fuck yourself. I'm not doing that. You know.
All right. Well, I'm kind of curious. I have to know, right? So after a match, after like a wrestling show, what's that post match snack, post match meal that you go to?
Post match, like a tradition.
Yeah, if you have one, or if you just
Oh yeah,
like
I have one. I guess I can talk about it. It's legal in most states. Um, I usually I usually drink a beer and smoke a joint. If I'm being honest, you know what I mean? Like because now I can relax. You know, like I got the shit over with.
right.
Yeah. But there's that, and then I mean, if usually after a show I'm pretty jacked up, I can't just go right to bed. You know what I mean? Like my adrenaline's still going for a little while. So I'll go home and if I've got footage, I'll review footage. You know what I mean? Like
Nice, nice.
see how I did, see what I need to work on.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Always working on a craft. It's very important.
Well, yeah, I mean I've been at it coming up in July, it'll be 20 years. I mean, I think if I sucked, I would have stopped like 10 years ago. You know, but
So what's like one? So being that you've been in 20 years, what's like one of the hardest things that you've had to learn being in the business?
um, if I'm being honest, it's working with new people. Um, because at some point when you do this as long as I do, and you work this, you start getting used to working the same people. You know what to expect. They know what to expect from you. And then when you're working with a new guy, the responsibility is on your shoulders because you're the vet. To make sure that not only because you can make your stuff look good, but you also got to make their stuff look good. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I'd say I have two different mindsets. If I'm working a guy I've wrestled 10 times, we don't talk about much. You know what I mean? But if this is like, let's say it's me and you, and it's our first match ever. Like you and I are gonna spend a few minutes talking. You know what I mean? And I'm like, hey, here's what you're a rookie. You need to listen to me. Here's what you can do. Here's what I'm gonna take. Here's what you can take. You know what I mean? Like it's a respect thing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just the way it. That's the way I was trained that way, and there's not a lot of old schoolers left. But when I get the chance to work with one, I'm not worried. But I'd say learning to adapt to the newer and the styles have changed so much even since I got into it. Like there's a whole new different way of wrestling nowadays that I would have never been able to learn back in the day. You know, like, Like, what the fuck is a Canadian destroyer? Like, when Jesus Christ, that's one of the most coolest moves I've ever seen. But like,
Yeah, it's definitely it's fun to throw if you have the right person to throw it with. Otherwise, it could just be a horrible disaster.
yeah, I've seen some really good ones, and I've seen some what the fuck was that? Like,
Yes.
been there.
I have been on I don't want to say I've been on the receiving end because I feel like every time that people ask me because like I can help get people over for a
Yeah,
destroyer. And it
right.
always feels like it's gonna go one of two ways. One, I'm gonna throw it and then they tend to try to lean away and then it
Mm-hmm.
pulls me to the side and then it looks like
Yeah,
a rolling tire just got jacked up and
yeah,
or on
yeah.
the other side they know like I'm gonna take them straight over and they just go with it and it just looks like I just murdered myself. So it's like I don't know.
Well,
It's crazy.
I have never taken one. I will continue to just admire from afar. I think I wouldn't look for me to hit one ever. Uh, my style is pretty much completely power meets martial arts, and if I get on the top rope, I'm either having the best day I've ever had, or this is probably done. This is it.
We're going to the finish, brother. Like that's what we're doing.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, what kind of advice would you give to like upcoming wrestlers?
Honestly, with the way a lot of them are nowadays, and I'm not talking trash on all of them, but some of them you know, it's been my experience that you never stop paying your dues. You know what I mean? You like, we did a show in Texas. It was like 4 or 5 years ago or something, or it was like, and Luke Harper, or
Yeah,
not Luke Harper. I'm sorry, Luke Gallows. Luke Gallows was on our show, and he had a match on our show and everything, and he was still out there helping break down the ring and put stuff on the trailer and stuff. You know what I mean? And if he's going to do it, then I shouldn't hear any complaints about a rookie, you know, having any problem putting anything together or taking things down. And I'm not going to say I never complained because I did, but I was a rookie once too. I didn't get shit, I didn't, I was just like, I had a great match tonight. Why am I helping with the ring? Because you're fucking supposed to, like, I mean, that's just, I had to get straightened out a couple of times. It happens, But, I would say stay humble and keep paying those dues, and remember, if you make it somewhere, remember the people that helped you get there. That'd be my biggest nugget of advice.
I like that a lot. So just like,
Oh, and I guess don't do a lot of edibles before a match. Like, that's I'm fine with it, but I've wrestled some people who've like, we had to change a lot. Let's we had to change a lot of what we had planned.
dang, totally had to do like a Sting Jeff Hardy call.
I'm sorry, brother, I couldn't hear you. What?
Said you totally had to do like the Sting Jeff Hardy thing.
Well, we went a little bit longer than that, but yeah, like we cut out about a good 7 minutes of a 12-minute match we were gonna do. So
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
like, "Get your shine." His big comeback was supposed to be a super kick, but he was so damn high. He went to throw it and he kicked me in the kneecap, and I was just like, I just sold it like my knee. Now give me a DDT, you dumbass. It
So
just
seeing that
happened.
you've been in for 20 years, what's one do and one don't of the locker room?
All right, well that's a good one. I'd say if you're new and you're on the card, even if you're not on the card, if you're helping out, sit and watch the show. Like, I mean, if you're wanting to be a part of the craft, watch your peers, the people that you're around the most. Watch them do what they do, and ask them questions. Because if they really care about you and you're a part of their school and they're helping you, then they're going to give you all the answers that you want. You might not like them, but it's just some shit that you got to go through sometimes to get better. And as far as don't show up. intoxicated. I know that one from firsthand experience. Like, yeah, don't do that. Uh, and don't make don't make huge deals about your bookings. And if you're booked in a match, and you're going under or whatever, just do the job, man. You're there to do a job. The promoters, for the most part, they know what they're doing when it's time to push people for stories and stuff like that. So just keep your ears open and your mouth shut and do what you're told. Don't question your bookings.
I
I mean
like
that's my advice anyway.
that. No, definitely. I like that a lot. No, that's good. That's good though. But those are like all my heavy hitting questions. But we do got
All
to get
right,
into the second best segment of this podcast. People ask,
all right,
what's the first? The first is the Red Dogs Power Rankings. You can find it every Sunday on our debate show. But this is the 3 count podcast, 10 count questions. And Father Padge, this is how it works. I'm going to fire
yep,
off 10 questions at you rapid fast. And
all right,
whatever's your answer, that's your answer.
all right,
So we're going to put on the imaginary timer for added pressure.
all right.
And here we go. SmackDown or Raw?
Raw,
Favorite movie?
Goodfellas,
Sonic or Mario?
Mario,
Favorite color?
Black.
Dolphins or whales?
I haven't eaten either one. No, dolphin, I guess.
Favorite submission?
Grapevine ankle lock.
Okay. Night owl or early bird?
Uh, I'm up every morning around 6 o'clock, so I guess early bird.
Okay. Favorite podcast?
Well, it's the 3 count, man. You didn't know? No. This is the first time I've been on it. I don't know. I really like. I used to listen to Stone Cold's old thing back in the day. But you know what? I'll go with yours. I'll go with the 3 count, man. Why not?
Yeah, it's not like we have it marketed everywhere.
Right? Yeah. Sure.
Nominate one person that you want to see on this podcast.
Oh man. Drake Gallows.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And then last but not least, my favorite question to ask every single person who comes on this podcast, favorite curse word.
No, motherfucker. Not that one. I've been told I say shit more than anybody, so I guess shit.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
It's like one really random questions, man.
Hey, that's why we love this show, though, right? We just you come on to expect to do like a wrestling podcast. You get a couple of those questions, and then the 10 count questions has nothing to do with wrestling related things.
No, it's cool. It's totally cool.
But those are all my questions. So the last thing I have for you is to let our listeners and viewers know where they can find you.
All right. Well, you guys can find me on Facebook at Father Padge and God's Work, Instagram at Father Padge, Twitter. Oh shit! What is my Twitter? Father Padge 77, I think. You can find me. I wrestle everywhere. Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Nevada, Kansas. But I mostly do a lot of work here where I live in Oklahoma. Empire Championship Wrestling's got a show coming up this Saturday, April 30th. Thirst for Gold. It's their biggest show of the year. Let's see what else. UWO. Got a show coming up May 14th here in Oklahoma City as well. Squared Circle Pro has a show going on in May in Lubbock, Texas. Man, there's just so many. And I work at all of those that I just named. I'm probably not going to be at all of those I just named because I need a freaking break every once in a while.
That's fair to say. That's fair.
July 20th. July 20th is 20 years for me, so I'm slowing down a little bit, but I've done pretty much everything. So like, I want to keep going though. Like I want to get double digits. I want to hit the double digits in the heavyweight championships. I know that's a little That's a little greedy, but I'm at 9, so I just need one more.
We can get the man one more title. That's all he
I
needs.
think one more, because my goal is to retire at 45,
Mm.
and I've got 6 years left. so
Okay.
so I think in 6 years I can get one more.
Well, there you go. So the goal is set. We'll be keeping track and letting you guys know if this happens or not. But like every good part of a wrestling match, we got to take this home. Because this is the 3 Count Podcast presents Now Entering the Ring. And like I said, I'm your host, Clifford Red Dog Miller, the man that leads you up this mountain called wrestling. And by now, you guys should be just calling me your Sherpa. But like every good Sherpa, you got to have someone who's been there, done that, and can do it more efficiently than you can. That's why it's never about me. It's about who's entering the ring. And you see him right next to me, right there. He is the man, the myth, the legend, the soon-to-be 10-time heavyweight champion, Father Padge. And you guys know what to do. Tune in to the next episode and be there, or you just wait for this episode to end. You wait for that outro, and then you choose another episode to listen to. Peace. What's going on, 3 Count Nation? I'm Clifford Red Dog Miller with the catchphrase. But what I really want to do right now, go to twitter.com, right? Go over there, find us at the 3count_pod, give us a follow, give us a like, give us a comment. We want to talk to you guys. Go to IG at the 3countpod, give us a like, give us a follow, leave us a comment. We want to interact with you. Go to youtube.com, give us a subscribe, turn the bell on, turn the notifications, leave a comment. We want to talk to you. Go to anchor.fm/the 3 Count Podcast, and in there, you can leave us a message, and we will talk to you. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is that we want to talk to you. We want to have fun with you guys, and we love listening to what you guys have to say. Also, one thing I need you to do for me, the 3 Count Podcast also has merchandise. Oh! At prowrestlingtees.com/the 3 Count Pod. Please go buy our t-shirts. We love you guys, and we hope you love us too. So, show us some support, please.